Alrighty then. Hello, everybody. It looks like we have three people here already, so that's good to see. Hey, Woody. All right. So a little heads up here. Um, with everything that went on last night with the whole YouTube stuff, with all the technical issues and stuff like that, tonight we got a little bit more going on. So, hey, Mike. Hey, Woody. Hello, Mimi. All right. All right. So basically, um, is what's going to go down tonight. I'm going to go ahead. We're going to go ahead and get probably by no later than 10 minutes in. We're going to probably get right into this stuff. Due in part to what happened last night. So, since we didn't get to since we didn't get to do this day in Nietzsche history yesterday, we're going to have two of them tonight. We're going to do yesterday's at the start of the show here. And then we're going to basically cover, I'm going to go over the stories I meant to go through yesterday. One of them we did kind of get through, but with all the other stuff going on, it was a bit distracting. So I'll um, basically redo that story, the Transformer story. And then we'll, of course, have this day in each history for today as well. So that's pretty much what's on tap for tonight. Um, we're still going to give people a few minutes to get in here. Basically everything that was going down last night apparently was on YouTube. It was YouTube was having the issues last night. So let's see now. So get hi, Mimi. What's up, Woody? Nothing much. I live a quiet life. I see. Not it's not like Mike to be 2 minutes late like this. I'm not 2 minutes late. I did start at I clicked on for there's 80. 80 just popped in. Hey 80. Walks quietly into the room, finds a corner to listen. I did get out of the house today. Huh. All right, so let me see now. All right, so let's see. And I do appreciate the likes and shares, guys. That does help with the algorithm. Um, yeah, the counter's telling me two, but I know we have four in here, so counter's being screwy again as usual. Anyways, um, we're up to three, so that's good. So it's slowly rising up. So overall, how was your day today? And when I'm about to start, I'll reiterate what I just said about tonight's show. Um, you know, um, but how was everybody's day today? Hopefully, y'all had a good day today. Hmm. ATC's here. Morning, Woody. So everybody can see me and hear me, right? I'm guessing everybody can see and hear me, right? Just hey, May May. Hey, Mike. You sexy beast. Uh, yeah. I believe in miracles since you came along. You sexy thing. Uh, yeah, I think we have like something like 5 people in here. All right. Yes, loud and clear. Okay. Hi, 80 pickle. Hi, action toys. Okay, so for and I know Woody and Maymay were already in here when I said this. So I'll reiterate. Hold on, excuse me for a quick sec. Just gotta go off camera for just a quick moment. Yeah, I'll be right back. Yeah, since we have some people in here now, I'll reiterate this and then we'll probably get going. Wait, hi to Woody. Now Mike's singing to me. Oh boy. Hey, 80, you smashing lady. Okay, so anyways, um, let me just get those of you who came in after Maymay and Woody here caught up. So with everything that kind of happened last night with the whole debacle with YouTube going down, I know we didn't even get to our we didn't really get through many of the stories. We didn't even get to the this day in each history segment. So this is the way that we're gonna do it. I'm gonna go ahead and get started here after I mention this. So we're gonna actually open up with the this day in each history segment from yesterday. So we'll start off taking a look back at what happened on this day, or on well in that particular case yesterday in each history on for the 18th. Then we'll get into the main news articles, and basically I'm just going to cover the same stories I tried to cover yesterday, including the one I did read through. With being distracted with all the technical issues and stuff like that, don't know really was able to give my full attention to it. And then we'll finish off with, of course, today's this day in each history. So that's basically the lineup for today. Let's see. You big flirt. 80, I'm no flirt. Just a man that enjoys telling ladies the truth about themselves, a truth they already know. Yeah, I don't, yeah, 80, I don't think toys would be really going to be going out and flirting with anybody, considering that I think that if he was starting to flirt with other women, Mrs. Toys would probably have an issue with that. Anyways, excuse me for one more quick moment and then we'll get started. All right. Well, anyways, all right. So let's see. Oh. All right. So we're gonna go right. First off, we're gonna go right into the this day in each segment. The this day in each history segment for yesterday, since we missed out for yesterday the 18th. So I hope you guys are ready because we're gonna do this one, and then we'll do the main news articles, and then we'll do this day in each history for today. So, anyways, on for yesterday, um, Tuesday, May 18th, 2021. Let's take a look back at this day or yesterday, in this case, yesterday in each history. Wings at 80. So here we go. So going back 75 years ago, um, yesterday, on yesterday, um, so on May 18, 1946, 75 years ago yesterday, the MGM produced Tom and Jerry Hanna-Barbera's Tom and Jerry cartoon, produced by MGM, The Milky Waif. Um, premiered in theaters on that day in 1946. 75 years ago yesterday, Hanna-Barbera Tom and Jerry cartoon, The Milky Way, produced by MGM, premiered yesterday. It was the first, it marked the debut of Nibbles. And also, from one of the other things I read on it, it was also the it was also the it was also the debut of them showing producer credits on the short. So on yesterday's date, 75 years ago, the Hanna-Barbera Tom and Jerry cartoon, The Milky Way, produced by MGM, premiered. So that was that. Oh, let's see. What should we do? Anyways. Now moving ahead in time for yesterday. Okay, so let's see. Let's see. Hoping this will be the right one. No, that's not the right one. Let's see. I did it again. I'm just not having much luck. Well, of course, when you're having to try to sift through 2 days worth of material, it can be a little disconcerting, as it were. All right, there we go. Finally got it. All right, um, so on yesterday's date, 70 years ago, so 70 years ago yesterday, um, the 15th issue of Romantic Adventures, published by American Comics Group, also known as ACG Comics, um, went on sale for 10 cents. It was 48 pages. It went on sale 70 years ago yesterday in 1951. So 70 years ago yesterday in 1951, the ACG published Romantic Adventures number 15, went on sale. Back starting in the late 40s through the 60s, there were a number of companies that were also starting to publish romance type comics, and this is, of course, one of them. This is the 15th issue of Romantic Adventures. It's probably had a lot more like love stories in it and all that. So on yesterday's date, 70 years ago, the 15th issue of Romantic Adventures went on sale from ACG Comics, American Comics Group. Um, for 10 cents. It was 48 pages. Okay, so did not know how old Tom and Jerry cartoon was. Oh yeah, they go back quite a bit of ways, 80. They go back quite a bit of ways. Hey, Mike, you awesome person. Did you figure out why it was being a pain? I don't know the, I didn't know the technical reason, toys. Um, like, but what I was able to do is I was able to, apparently, there were some areas where there were supposedly, I guess, service outages, and 96% people just were not able to view videos. Even like today when I went on Critical Blast stream earlier and I mentioned it to him, he was even saying that it was wonky. But apparently there were spots, L.A., San Francisco, Chicago, where service was down. In fact, even up in Toronto, there where you were, and it was supposedly even worse up there. But I don't, as to why it was going on, I don't know. Didn't see anything. All I know is that there was some issues. Was romantic adventures targeted for females to buy? It might have been 80. It might have been because I would say from, and well, of course, we will eventually get to this point in our coverage on Fridays as well. But pretty much from, I'd say, starting in the mid to late 40s through the 60s, a number of comic book companies were starting to publish like romance type comics. So that is very possible. There are a number of comics that were produced there that were, focusing more on like the romantic side of things. Reload the stream. Mike is broadcasting now. Uh, but yeah. So, anyways, on with the next piece in each news from yesterday. Let's see. Alrighty then. So as we now move a little bit ahead here, let's see. Okay. So, anyways, on this date, fifth, or I'm sorry, on yesterday's date, um, 15 years ago in 2006, the animes Kami-sama, let's see, Toei Animations Kami-sama Kozaku and ViewWorks Demon Bane premiered on yesterday's date, 15 years ago in 2006. So yes, on yesterday's date, 15 years ago, the animes Toei Animations Kami-sama Kazoku and ViewWorks Demon Bane premiered in Japan on those dates yesterday. And finally, let's see. And finally, for yesterday's this day in Nietzsche history, one last piece of Nietzsche news from yesterday there. Hey, ATC, there's May May. All right, so yeah, on yesterday's date, 5 years ago yesterday, during a Lucha Underground taping, Chavo Guerrero Jr. defeated six other wrestlers, including Aerostar, El Sinestro de la Muerte, Joey Ryan, Sexy Star, Texano, and the Mac for the vacant Lucha Underground Gift of the God Championship. So 5 years ago, yesterday, Chavo Guerrero won a seven-way match to win the vacant Lucha Underground Gift of the Gods Championship. So that's all that happened yesterday in history, and then get to today's at the end of today's show. So now it's time to get hey May hey May, waves high to you. 80. All right. So with yesterday's This Day in Each History segment out of the way, now we'll move on to the main articles of the night, which were originally supposed to be the main articles of last night. And even though this first one we did get through, I'm going to read it again since we were kind of distracted by all the technical issues. So you guys could hear about, make sure you guys can, hear about it, learn about it if, you want. So here we go. So now we're going to get into. So the first article I read yesterday that I'm going to reread here is about the Transformers here, and I'm gonna breeze through it since we had to. Okay, 2 new Transformers titles announced, plus new stories for main Transformers series and Transformers Beast Wars, published yesterday by John F. Trent. IDW Publishing announced 2 brand new Transformers series with Transformers King Grimlock and Transformers Shattered Glass. They also announced new storylines for the main Transformers series and Transformers Beast Wars. Transformers King Grimlock. Transformers King Grimlock is written by Steve Orlando with artwork by Augustin Padilla and colors by Jeremy Colwell. It will be a 5-issue miniseries that takes place in world of fantastical beasts and magical powers. So, basically Transformers going from sci-fi into the realm of the fantasy realm here. Here's the cover of it. Transformers King Grimlock. Cover A, $3.99 from IDW. So some interesting, source Transformers King Grimlock. In a press release, IDW details in a savage world where the strong rule with sword and iron, the Dinobot Grimlock finds a new opportunity to prove he's the strongest there is. But as Grimlock and the human barbarian Arco will learn, sometimes brute strength isn't enough. Orlando provided more insight, stating, King Grimlock is a sky-high dream come to life. A story so big and wild, I wasn't sure if the Transformers universe could contain it. He added, this is the first of its kind science fantasy epic for fans new and old, whether you follow the animation of the 80s, the modern shows of the 2000s, the big screen blockbusters, the decades of incredible comics, or if you've been intrigued by Grimlock action figures on the shelf, everyone's welcome. And of course, we know we have somebody in here who knows probably quite a bit about the toys side of it. So here's another cover. This is, I believe, the retailer cover. Retail initiative cover for it. Let's see. Everybody's. Well, anyways, Padilla also stated right from the start, I knew that King Grimlock had all the ingredients to be an incredible project, and I'm really proud and excited to bring it to life. With this great team, editor David Marriott also detailed by spotlighting a beloved character like Grimlock in an epic barbarian fantasy. Steve, Augustine, and Jeremy are crafting an iconic story that expands their understanding of who Grimlock is and what a Transformer story can be. He added, plus, a two-story tall robotic T-Rex battles dragons, magicians, and monsters, which is awesome. I can see that. The series' main cover will be done by Kerry Nord. There will also be a variant by Padilla, a retailer incentive edition. That's the RI one. Cover will be done by Mateus Sanaluco. Um, the series will arrive sometime in August. Transformers Shattered Glass. Interesting how Transformers is still popular. My kids in the 80s loved watching their cartoons. Yeah, I grew up watching Transformers as well, 80. That was one of my favorite cartoons growing up as well. Super Friends is of course my all-time favorite, but I loved watching Transformers and GI Joe. Continuing on here, Transformers Shattered Glass. Transformers Shattered Glass is written by Danny Lohr with art by Guido Guidi and Dan Kana, and colored by John Paul Bove. Like Transformers King Grimlock, Transformers Shattered Glass is also a 5-issue miniseries. Guidi will be illustrating issues 1, 3, and 5, while, and yes, that is a typo, Kana will be illustrating issues 2 and 4. IDW's official description for the series begins in a parallel universe. A war rages across the cosmos from Cybertron to Earth. A war between Decepticon laborers turned freedom fighters and power-hungry Autobot autocrats. I guess hence the name Shattered Glass, because this, I guess, supposed to be a mirror universe of the main Transformers storyline, where the Autobots are evil and the Decepticons are good. So it concludes many kilocycles after the blue planet was devastated and the Decepticons were brought to heal. The evil Autobot body scrapper named Blur hunts a new bounty, one who holds a piece of information that could reignite the war. Here's cover A of Shattered Glass, of course, from IDW. He looks like he's taking a few hits, doesn't he? Lore provided more details, saying, "To this day, I'm the nerd whose heart swells when they hear Optimus Prime and Starscream's voices." He added, "As a writer, I love exploring characterization, what the core elements are that make someone who and what they are. Creating these shattered glass versions of childhood favorites is like building the perfect combiner for me. What are the nuts and bolts that we can swap out while still making them recognizable?" Guidi provided a statement as well. "It's absolutely a blast to be part of the Shattered Glass team. The best part, as an artist, is to convey the new twisted personalities and familiar faces. And Danny's script allows a lot of fun with that aspect. It's great to discover how a classic good guy can work well as an evil character and vice versa." Again, I think the whole idea behind Shattered Glass is it's supposed to be, I guess, a mirror universe um, to the main universe, which of course is a classic trope. Kana also stated, "It's a thrill to be able to draw a completely fresh take on the classic cast with IDW's all-new Shattered Glass universe and timeline. It's a lot of fun to realize an evil Optimus Prime and noble version of Megatron." Assistant editor Riley Farmer said, "Our wonderful partners at Hasbro made a huge splash with their recent announcement of new Megatron and Blur action figures packaged with our Shattered Glass comics. And we're proud to bring that story content, and specifically 3 cover variants exclusively available to the comics retail channels, to the wide audience of monthly comic readers. The stories will feature 3 cover variants for the first issue by Alex Milne, Dan Kana, and a retailer incentive edition by Sarah Pitre DeRocher. It will also arrive in August. Here's a Transformers issue number 34. Let's see. Any new comments? And the counter is apparently reading 2 again. See if by refreshing it, got any. Hopefully you guys are all still here. This counter always goes a little screwy for me. But anyways. Oh, look at that. And then you have Starscream in the lower left-hand corner there. The main Transformers series will also feature a new storyline called Sea of Rust from writer Brian Ruckley and artist Anna Malkova that begins in Transformers number 34 in August. So a lot of these August releases here. Huh? The official description states, Megatron has learned that his former mentor, Termagax, holds a key artifact that could tip the scales of the war firmly in the Decepticons' favor, eliminating the Autobots once and for all. The first order of business, however, is running Termagax down. The issue will feature variant covers by Winston Chan, Susan Margovich, and Andrew Griffith. This story almost sounds similar to the old Generation 1 episode called Cosmic Rust. Transformers Beast Wars number 7. And here's the cover A for $3.99. So basically now you can get to pay $4 for a comic. No new comments, I guess. All right. So, anyways, Transformers Beast Wars will begin a new storyline titled Pod, beginning with issue number 7 from writer Eric Burnham and artist Winston Chan. The official description reads, regrouping after their first explosive battle, the Maximals and Predacons are alerted to the descent of a new protoform pod and its sole inhabitant, Black Arachnia, whose side will this mysterious newcomer take. It will also feature 3 variants by Fico Oshio, Ed Piri, and Gavin Guidry. And that's it for that story. So as I said, we had from last night, we had like 5 stories we we're going to cover. So or four. Actually, I think we only had four stories, as I recall. I think yeah, we had four. So ATC commented on something here. Action walks over to 80, puts arm around her shoulder, and continues on saying how he's repaired a number of Gen 1 Transformer toys. All right, so here's the second story we're going to read from yesterday. I think I did only have like four stories planned for yesterday. Now I remember. So Crunchyroll and Sentai announced new slate of home video releases includes 11 titles from published yesterday by John F. Trent. So here we go. Crunchyroll and Sentai announced a new slate of home video releases that includes Rent a Girlfriend, Onyx Equinox, Noblesse, and Monster Girl Doctor, among others. In a press release, Crunchyroll details that all of the titles, there are 11 in total, will be available across a mix of DVD, Blu-ray, and EST for fans in the US and Canada, in a combo of subbed and dubbed format. It's like a scene from Shogeki no Soma right here, Food Wars, which it is. Source Food Wars: The Fourth Plate, which the dub is currently running on adult on Toonami right now. If you want to check it out, if you guys want to check that out. Hey there, May, come talk toy repair with me and 80. 80 appreciates the hug. Kudos to Mrs. Toys. Uh, Back to the thing here. This new slate of 11 titles comes after Crunchyroll and Sentai announced their home video partnership at virtual Crunchyroll Expo last year, where they revealed Food Wars: The Fourth Plate, Ascendance of a Bookworm, Grandbelm, and World Trigger were getting home video releases. Now, the 11 new titles getting home releases through this partnership include Noblesse, Onyx Equinox, Haikyuu, To the Top, I'm Standing on a Million Lives, Keep Your Hands Off Aizokin, um, Aizokin, Monster Girl Doctor, My Next Life as a Villainess, All Routes Lead to Doom, Rent a Girlfriend, Science Fell in Love, so I Tried to Prove It, Somali, and The Forest Spirit, and Welcome to Demon School, the Rumakun. For those 11 titles. How are we doing on time here? Okay, we're going pretty well on time. Kind of breezing through a lot of this stuff. Action Smiles acknowledges 80s thing, a Majig to Mrs. Toys and whispers, Mrs. Toys sees everything I do. Uh, oh, no beliefs. Of course, no beliefs. After awakening from an 820-year slumber, Rizel tries to fit in with modern high schoolers while protecting his fellow nobles. Noblesse is a Crunchyroll and Webtoon production. There's another Onyx Equinox, another Crunchyroll original here, I guess. Onyx Equinox. One young Aztec boy is summoned to act as humanity's champion as a fight between gods breaks out. Hike you to the top. I didn't know that was all one word, but the Karasuno, and I'm watching Haikyuu right now. By the way, it's a pretty good anime. It's a volleyball anime. So the Karasuno High School volleyball team continues to reach to the top as the nationals tournament continues. I'm standing on a million lives. A lone wolf student is sent to another world where he must become a hero to save himself and his party. Keep your hands off Azokun or Azokin. This critically acclaimed anime follows a group of high school students as they create an animation club to realize the ultimate world that exists in their minds. Man, that one sounds like an interesting anime to watch. Monster Girl Doctor. MGD. The clinic is open for business in this medical fantasy that explores the physiologies of monster girls as never before. All right. My next life as a villainess. All routes lead to doom. This screwball love comedy follows wealthy heiress Katerina class um, who hits her head and realizes she's been transported to become the villainess from a game she played in a past life. Now, she must focus on avoiding all of the bad outcomes, like death or exile, the story has prepared for her. Rent a girlfriend. Cute bunch of girls there. A college student tries a new method of dating in this reckless rom com, I guess romantic comedy, filled with love and excitement. Science fell in love, so I tried to prove it. That sounds like a very interesting title. A science inclined girl and boy who are deeply passionate about research fall in love and then try to prove that love exists. That does sound like a very interesting story. But stories like that it goes to show you why manga is kicking the garbage out of the SJW garbage. Somali and the Forest Spirit. This is a chronicle of a journey that would bind a member of the dying human clan to the forest guardian Golem as father and daughter. Welcome to Demon School, Iruma-kun. Iruma-kun? Look at that. A young man is taken to a demon school where he uses his innate kindness to win over enemies. That sounds like a very interesting anime to get into. So that's all for that story. So on to the next story here. Laugh out loud, rent a girlfriend. Yeah, that is a very interesting name for an anime. Hey there, 80. But I think that's kind of what makes manga and anime so much more popular. They don't really prescribe to the you know agenda pushing SJW woke baloney. Hmm. All right, so getting moving on to this next article, of course. Netflix announces release date for Godzilla Singular Point, written by John F. Trent, published yesterday. Let's see, where are we on time? Yeah, 45 minutes, about 45 and a half minutes. So we're doing good on time there. Netflix announced the release date for the upcoming Godzilla Singular Point anime series. On Twitter, the official Netflix Geeked Twitter account revealed the series will stream globally beginning on June 24th. They tweeted, an unimaginable force may spell doom for the world. Godzilla Point is available globally June 24th. Netflix Geek. Here's the tweet there. Netflix Geek's Twitter. The official description for the show from Netflix reads, brought together by a mysterious song, a grad student and an engineer lead the fight against an unimaginable force that may spell doom for the world. And this, of course, is an anime that they've been pushing for the last couple months here. I've covered some of the previous stories on it as well, read through some of the previous stories. I guess it's the latest in the Kaiju saga. A trailer was released back in April where Netflix revealed the series unfolds over 13 episodes to tell a new and original story unlike anything seen in the Godzilla franchise before. The trailer features a number of iconic kaiju like Jet Jaguar, Rodan, and Gearus, and of course Godzilla. You see the official trailer video there. Probably go on YouTube to find it as well. Um, the anime is a collaboration between Studio Bones, the company behind My Hero Academy, and Orange, the studio behind all right, Studio Bones, the company behind My Hero Academy. I think it's supposed to be My Hero Academia, but I could be wrong. And Orange, the studio behind Beastars. It is directed by Atsushi um, Takahashi, who previously directed Doraemon, the movie 2017, Great Adventure in the Antarctic, Kachikochi. Um, the show is written by To Enjoy, um, along with Takahashi and Enjoy. The production includes composer Kan Sawada as a composer. Kazue Kato, the creator of Blue Exorcist, heads up the character design. You can check out the full human cast below. There you go, right there. Netflix Geek Twitter. See if you guys are saying anything here. I'm tired, Mike. I'm too drained to follow the stream tonight. I think I'll spend some time with Ms. Joyce. All right, ATC. Well, remember, you can all, whatever you miss, during the rest of the show, you can always come back. You can always watch it because I do keep my streams up, so you can always go back and watch what you missed. And also, don't forget, in about a week and a half on the 31st, we're going to be doing open mic night. Um, so just a reminder for you for that. Night all, night toys. Take care from 80. Godzilla was one of my first loves in old monster movies. Yeah, and it's continued over the years to be quite popular. 80. It's continued over the years to be quite popular. So, anyways, as we um continue on here, finally, Eiji Yamamori is the animator for the numerous kaiju on the show. Yamamori previously worked on Princess Mononoke, Spirited Away, and The Wind Rise. Of course, I believe all of these films were from Studio Ghibli. Netflix Geeked previously shared a final design for Godzilla Singular Point's Godzilla back in February. They wrote, "Bear witness to a god. Check out the final design for Godzilla Singular Point, King of the Monsters, and designed by Eiji Yamamori and colored by Yuichi Kaneko." Are you looking forward to Godzilla Singular Point? Anyways, we got 3 people here now. 52 minutes. So we are going to at least get over an hour. All right, so here was the last story I was going to cover last night. Story is also from yesterday, of course. Toei serves multiple fan subbing groups with cease and desist orders regarding Kamen Rider and Super Sentai releases. Written by Spencer Piccoli, published yesterday. The future of Kamen Rider and Super Sentai outside of Japan has recently been thrown into jeopardy as a number of fan groups responsible for producing subtitled releases of the two tokusatsu series have received official cease and desist orders from Toei, with the prominent media production company demanding that each respective group immediately remove or disable all access to all of their content. Super Sentai, as I understand it, is what they call Power Rangers over in Japan. So that's, I think, what they may be talking about. Throughout the history of Kamen Rider and Super Sentai, Toei's attitude towards providing international support for the two franchises has been, to say the least, reluctant, as Toei has been extremely hesitant to officially license either series for a wide release outside of Japan, particularly in the West. After agreeing to let the United States produce their own adaptations of each series in the form of Power Rangers and its short lived Masked Rider spinoff, um, both of which um, both of which share only concepts and footage of with their Japanese counterparts, Toei all but abandoned the West as a market for their tokusatsu franchises. As everybody knows, Power Rangers was actually produced in the West here by Saban Entertainment. Source: Ikomen Sentai, um, Aki Baranger, Season 2, Episode 5, Delusional Imports, 2013 Toei. As such, no Super Sentai series saw an official release until 2014 when Shout Factory released Kyoru Sentai Zyuranger on DVD in the United States. Yet, while this agreement was met with open arms by Western fans, the resulting release schedule further reinforced Toei's indifference towards the West. As of 2021, 7 years into their licensing agreement with Toei, Shout Factory has thus far only produced collections for 12 non-consecutive Super Sentai series out of the franchise's roughly 45 total entries. The most recent one being the complete run of 2002's Ninpu Sentai Hurricanegor. Ninpu Sentai Hurricanegor, episode 49, The Mission and the Galactic Ninja. The situation is even more dire where Kamen Rider is concerned. Aside from the aforementioned Masked Rider adaptation, only 2 other pieces of actual Kamen Rider media have been released in the West: Kamen Rider Dragon Knight, an American adaptation of Kamen Rider Ryuki, and Kamen Rider Amazons, whose widespread release only occurred due to the series being released exclusively on Amazon Video. Kamen Rider Amazons, Episode 2, Beast Inside, 2016 Toei. Furthermore, unlike Super Sentai, Kamen Rider has had no Western home video releases. When taken all together, these situations surrounding Super Sentai and Kamen Rider made legal consumption of these franchises by non-Japanese speakers all but impossible. That guy looks like a variation on Lord Zed from Power Rangers, which would make sense. Source: Kamen Rider Dragon Knight Episode 1, Search for the Dragon, 2008, Toei Company Incorporated. See if you guys are saying anything in the comments real quick. Looks like, look like Woody got a new avatar. Night all. Take care. Godzilla was one. Okay, we already read all that. Let's see. Pick reminds me of Power Rangers show. Yeah, well, that's because that's what it was based on, 80. That's what it was actually based on, I believe. Okay, my eyes did not deceive me. Testing cat. Would he change his picture to his cat as his avatar? What kind of testing on a cat? Or some lingo I don't understand? Well, maybe just testing his cat avatar there as his avatar, 80. Because Woody has a cat that when he has been on has graced his appearance on the stream. So here we go. So as we continue on here with the article, in light of this impossibility and popularity of both series across the globe, The early 2000s saw the emergence of numerous fan subbing groups, some of which began to produce translated subtitles for each new Super Sentai and Kamen Rider series. Over time, these groups grew in popularity and reach, with many eventually becoming de facto release sources for each of the tokusatsu series outside of Japan, and subsequently opening up the franchise to an even wider fan base. However, following the recent changes made to various aspects of Japan's copyright laws, seems this era of international fandom may be coming to a close. On May 13th, TV Nihon admin Takenoko, um, whose site was one of the preeminent destinations for subtitled releases of various tokusatsu series, announced that they had received an official notice of copyright infringement from Toei regarding their work on Super Sentai and Kamen Rider. According to the according to the letter shared by Takenoko, Toei took issue with how TV Nihon linked users to torrents containing materials which infringe our copyright, i.e., subtitle releases of Super Sentai and Kamen Rider, and requested that you immediately remove or disable all access to all links to the subtitled releases. In addition to TV Nihon, similar letters were also reportedly received by fellow fan subgroups KRDL and Newsect, the latter of whom specifically produces Portuguese subtitles for each show. Notably, fan subbing group Over Time has apparently yet to receive such a letter from Toei. Well, the thing is too is if they would be more open to doing business in the West, and they probably wouldn't have people doing this, on their own like this. Source Gauranja versus Super Sentai Forever Red 2001 Toei Company. As of writing, members of the relevant fan subgroups are currently working to navigate the situation. However, playing things safe for the time being, TV Nihon has complied with Toei's request and removed the specified torrents from their site. What do you make of Toei taking action against Super Sentai and Kamen Rider fan subs? Let us know your thoughts on social media or the comments down below. Well, maybe they should go. I mean, I can understand they don't want their stuff, torrented or whatever, but at the same time, if it's popular like that, they should take advantage of that and establish more legal ways to do it. You know, you know. So I mean, so anyways, those are the only stories from yesterday I was going to cover. Hey, Mike, Woody, May May Toys, and 80. How are y'all? Hey, Leto. As always, of course, I do appreciate any of y'all likes and shares. Um, Also, I'm getting ready to drive to work right now, so I'll be listening, doing fine and learning much. Hope you're doing fine, also, Leto Enchanted. Let's see, we're over the hour mark here. Good to know YouTube working properly today since it was shut down yet. Yeah, it was basically just I looked up what happened. Apparently, there were some outage issues across the states and Canada. Um, Leto, just let, and I know you often do go back and watch the streams again on your own time. I did yesterday's this day in each history at the beginning of this stream. So when you have a chance, you might want to go back and watch that if you want. Today, with everything that was going on yesterday, I decided to do yesterday's this day in each history segment first. Then I went through the main stories, which we just got done, and then I'm going to probably, once I know we're a little early here, so may try to open things up a little bit. Might talk for a little while here, chat it up a little bit. Um, just to kind of switch things up a bit. Um, let's see. I'm good. Thanks, 80, for asking. Asking. Hi, Leto E. Morning, Woody. All right. So, anyways, yeah, this was the last story we were going to cover for today. So, we're an hour, just past the hour mark. So I'm trying to think of what should do now. All right, car's warmed up. I'm on the road. Make it a good show. Well, I mean, I've got through the majority of the show already, Leto. So, hmm, kind of breezed through the stuff because I was thinking it was going to take me longer to get through this stuff, but I actually ended up blasting through a lot of it quite quickly. So what shall we do now? So is there anything you guys wanted to ask about or talk about or anything like that? Since we do have a little extra, since we got a little extra time here. Um, was there anything you guys wanted to ask me about, or we have a little extra time here. We're just past the 1 hour. Usually try to go an hour and a half to 2 hours. I know yesterday we cut it pretty short as well because of the technical issues. Plus, I only had 4 stories I decided to cover, so I'll probably have I might have 5 or 6 tomorrow. And, looks like there are a few stories possibly to look through for tomorrow. So, um, was there anything you guys wanted to ask about? I know Batgoat's not here, but hopefully he might stop it. I don't know difference between cartoons and anime. What is the difference? Um, I guess at least in anime. Well, not really much in terms of difference. In terms of, I guess the only real difference is in how they're produced. Whereas, I'm sure you grew up watching a lot of the animated shorts that were always packed together. Most like American cartoons, 80 are produced episodically. So it's like they kind of stand the test of time. I'm sure you've seen like the Looney Tunes cartoons, MGM cartoons, the Fleischer Studio stuff with Popeye. You know, whereas anime is kind of produced a little bit more serially. In other words, there does seem to be kind of like an actual story going on for, you know, depending upon the run, whether it's what I would call like a half season or a full half season of like 12 to 13 episodes versus a full season of 24 to 26 episodes. Whereas most cartoons are more episodic in nature. They're kind of all like kind of standalone. There's like no passage of time, no story, no real storytelling. You know, that's why in many cases, even anime at times, kind of like Pokemon, are considered more like cartoons because um, you know, even though in Pokemon you do kind of have mini stories going in there, but Ash is still 10 years old after like 20 years. But I think main difference is in how they're produced. Whereas cartoons tend to be more produced episodically, whereas anime tend to be produced more serially, like a series, basically. In other words, each cartoon tends to be more standalone, separate from other cartoons, and whereas you know anime tend to be produced in more of a serial manner, in which there is a story going on um, over time. So that's pretty much the difference. Uh, well, yeah, that too. Anime is more in Japan. Cartoons were made here in the States, but so anime is like a soap opera. In a way, I mean, look at some of the titles that you had from earlier. From remember when I read off those releases, like Rent a Girlfriend, um, Hike You to the Top about a volleyball team. Um, you know, um, you know. Let's see. I mean, let's see. Science fell in love, so I tried to prove it. I mean, it's pretty much, yeah. I mean, in a way, you could say it's kind of like a soap opera or I think more accurately, a drama. You know, I use the term serial, like a series, because it's there is kind of an ongoing story, ongoing plot from one episode to another. The ep- in anime, a lot of the episodes are connected for the most part. There are a few exceptions there, you know. Um, I mean, even kind of look at the even kind of look at the probably some of the more well known like the Dragon Ball franchise, Sailor Moon, Full Metal Alchemist, Yu Yu Hakusho, Roni Kenshin. You know, even in those animes, there is at least some sense that there is a story going on. Time is continuing to move forward in those stories. You know, um, whereas in a lot of cartoons you grew up with, like watching like Looney Tunes or MGM, um, even some of the like superhero cartoons like Transformers, GI Joe, Super Friends, those were even more like episodic, cartoony in that way. So yeah, Rent a Girlfriend I might have as an epitaph. What are are you trying to say that you Hey 80, are you trying to say that you rent yourself out as a girlfriend? Is that what you're trying to say? only when I am dead. Well, you trying to be a corpse bride there? When last dance with Mary Jane, I want more time to kill the pain. I feel someone creeping in the night, time and town again. Little Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers right there. I'll be right back. Gotta go off camera here for a moment. What? Laugh out loud. Love you know Tom Petty. 80. I am a 45-year-old developmentally disabled adult. Okay. I was born October 7th, 1975. So I'm 45 years old. I grew up in the 80s. So I know quite a bit about not just the cartoons, but the television, comic, well, not as much as comics. I'm more researching that now. But um, I grew up in the 80s. Okay. So and the early, I guess, early nine, extending into the early 90s as I graduated. I was class 93 from my high school. So, um, of course, I would know a little bit of Tom Petty there. You know, one of the diagnoses I have is being on the spectrum. You know, um, so I I know at least a little bit about a lot of things. So I don't know everything. Some people think I act like I know everything, but I don't. Nobody is really omnipotent. Uh, is there anything else you guys want to ask me about or find out about? Hmm. La di dee da di da, la di dee da di da, la di dee da di da. I'll be right back. Yeah, look like 80 had another comment here. Do you sing professionally? No, I don't. I don't. Or in a band? No. Like a lot of kids back, I did dabble a little bit into the thought of trying to get into a band, but it just never worked out. Um, Yeah. Tom Petty, the right. No, Tom Petty was a rock musician. Woody, you're thinking of Richard Petty. You're thinking of the Petty family, Lee Petty, his son Richard, who I think is still the all-time wins leader in NASCAR, and Kyle Petty. You're thinking of the Petty family, but Tom Petty's not a part of that family. He's a rock musician. Well, now we're coming up on an hour 21 here, so we're getting close to that hour and a half mark. Tom Petty did not back down. NASCAR, no comment. NASCAR 80 is the National Association of Stock Car Auto Racers. It's basically auto race. It's stock car racing, basically. Um, Highly more popular in the South. Yeah. Huh. All right. So is there anything else you guys would like to ask? Because not, it might be a good time to start winding things down a bit here. Well, let's see. Like my great grandmother was a bootlegger, and while my great grandfather divorced her in the 1940s. Hmm. So, if you let's see now. How about history of where NASCAR began? Oh, okay. All right. All right. So, anyways, we're back. The counter now saying we have four people in here now, so that's cool. Welcome to those who just joined us. Actually, already got through the main stories of the night. We're just kind of hanging out a little bit here. Moonshine. Woody said moonshine, which is what the Dukes of Hazzard got busted for a lot of times, or what they were believed to be busted for. Hmm. All right. Well, unless you guys have anything more you'd like to ask or anything like that, I think it would be a good time to start winding down. So, are you guys ready for this day in each history? We're gonna do today's. We did yesterday's earlier, so if you missed that earlier, you can go back and watch it um, at your leisure. Are you guys ready for this day in each history? Thank you for chat. It was very informative and fun. That's what I always try to make it out at 80. Try to be informative and fun about it. Nietzsche history. I knew we had forgotten something. Well, I didn't do it yesterday. Well, Woody, I didn't do it yesterday, but I did yesterday's at the beginning of the stream. If you did miss out on that, you can always go back and watch the first part of the stream again. But anyways, without any further ado, then let's go ahead and take a look back at this day in Nietzsche history. Today being Wednesday, May 19th, 2021. Um, let's take a look back at what happened on this day in Nietzsche history. And of course, the first thing we're going to look at here is we're going to go back to 40 years ago today. Bat Goat just got here. I know you had Hey friends, just got here. Sucked at trivia tonight. Yeah, we're wrapping up that goat. I kind of breezed through everything. I know you weren't here last night, but we had a whole bunch of technical difficulties. YouTube was acting up last night, so um but I keep my streams up so you can go back and watch what you missed. But we're about to wrap up here, so just in Nietzsche time, that goat. Yeah. So, anyways, on this date in 1981, 40 years ago today, Marvel released the 165th issue of Sergeant Fury and his Howling Commandos for 50 cents for a 32-page book. The story was Burn Bridge Burn. This story was reprinted from Sergeant Fury number 71 in 1969. So it was 20 pages. And also on this date, they also released the 50th issue of Star Wars, a 48-page, 75-cent book. The title of the story was The Crimson Forever. So on this date, 40 years ago today, Marvel put on sale on newsstands the 165th issue of Sergeant Fury and his Howling Commandos, and the 50th issue of Star Wars during their run with Star Wars. So there's that one. And I guess there were some. Hey, back goat. Laugh out loud. Nice new PFP of Kitty. Saying hi and bye to you, Bat Goat. Hope to see you again. Adios, amigo. Peace, 80. Hey, Sergeant Fury sounds like a ripoff of Sergeant Rock. Well, okay, Sergeant Fury was the guy who ultimately was put in charge of Shield in Marvel Comics. I don't know if he was an actual ripoff of Sergeant Rock or not. I think Tug might know that a little bit more. He's more, but I'm sure we'll get to see it when we get there in the history coverage. So, anyways, and now, well, guys, 1981 is just so nice that we're gonna hit it twice. As also on this date in 1981, the AWA awards Nick Bockwinkel the AWA World Heavyweight Championship following the retirement of previous champ Vern Gagne. So after Vern Gagne, I think like a month earlier, let's see, or a few months earlier, let's see. I know we did actually mention that too at some point earlier in the. Actually, no, that's right. That's right. Oh wait, no. He actually what it was is that he vacated the title because he was retiring. That's right. So, and I think I did actually mention it in a previous history segment. Let me find out. Yeah, in May on the 10th, Vern Gagne, after successfully retaining the AWA World Heavyweight Championship, um, decided to retire. And the AWA on the 19th, which was this day in 40 years ago, um, awarded the title to who they believed the number one contender was, Nick Bockwinkel, um, at this point. So on this date, 40 years ago today, Nick Bockwinkel was awarded the AWA World Heavyweight Championship, um, by the AWA following Vern Gagne's retirement. And move ahead 15 years from that as we go back to 25 years ago today. On this date in 1996, um, The Simpsons episode Homer Palooza is first broadcast, featuring guest appearances or guest voicing from the Smashing Pumpkins, Cypress Hill, Sonic Youth, and Peter Frampton. So on this date, 25 years ago today in 1996, the Simpsons episode Homer Palooza makes its debut. So there you go. So that's all that happened on this day in Nietzsche history. Backcode, if you want to catch yesterday's Nietzsche history, you can actually go back to earlier in this stream. As yesterday there were just a whole bunch of technical problems that YouTube was going through, and we ended up cutting the stream early. So, anyways, I hope everybody had fun tonight. Ty Beard would know too. Yeah, more than likely. He's really into Sergeant Rock. I know that. Oh man, that was a good Simpsons. All right, guys. Well, a reminder to those who are still here. Of course, Monday, May 31st will be our next open mic night, where I'll open it up for anybody who wants to join me, and we'll just hang out and talk whatever. Of course, this Friday will be our next night in which we'll look back at comics, the history of comics, be focusing in on the comics that went on sale from Central Comics at the time known as Ultim Publications. Back good. I hope you will join me. I'll send you the link that night. And I hope to see you guys here tomorrow night. Anyways, guys, as always, I do always like the likes and shares. If you missed any portion of the stream, you can go back and watch it as I do keep my streams up. So, anyways, guys, until tomorrow, peace, my fam. Thank you, Batgoat. All right, guys. Well, I hope to see you all back here tomorrow night. Woody. Night, all night. All right, guys. Bye.